This podcast covers sensitive topics that may be difficult for some listeners. Please take care while listening. Last week on Girl Undrunk.
5, 6, 7.
I'm going to tell you how I got sober, but first how I became an alcoholic. The only thing I know about Mr. Teeny is that A, he's really funny, and B, he's really fucking scary. And I walk in a little bit and he goes, "Do you pee with the door open?" I just felt myself like shut down. Dance is the only reason I'm here today, and that's true. That's 100% true, and it started here. I got into Boston Conservatory, full dance program, and I'm not fucking skinny enough to be there. I got real fucking skinny really fast.
Like scary skinny?
Yeah. I just was like, I can't eat, and if I don't eat, I'll be a better dancer. And that's a little PSA to everyone. Don't get addicted to laxatives, because you're going to shit yourself talking to your choreographer in the middle of the Boston Commons. I would hate when parties were over. I would start to panic because that meant everyone was going to start leaving. Alcohol made me feel so confident and fun and loose, and it made me feel like I could be the person I always wanted to be.
None of this is easy, guys. None of it is easy. We never say it's easy.
No, it is.
But if you want it, you can have it.
I'm in New York and I'm doing really romantic things with alcohol. Like I'm sitting on my fire escape every night and I'm drinking half a bottle of rosé.
Yeah.
I always have half a sweet green salad and half a bottle of rosé in my fridge. If you come to my house, that is what I had.
So you were still maintaining your like skinniness.
Yeah, but I also wasn't doing that much. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like I needed to eat anything because I wasn't doing anything. Like I was mostly like I was taking dance class a few times a week and then just like sitting in my house watching Broad City, like trying not to cry. I moved to Brooklyn the second year and I had a few more friends there and that is when I started partying. I was like, okay, we're fucking doing this. I was like meeting boys. I still had a boyfriend, but who cares?
Yeah.
I was
He didn't live there.
He didn't live there. I was like hooking up with my roommate's coworker, who she specifically told me not to hook up with because she wanted to hook up with him, but it wasn't happening. So then I was like 21 and I was like, I'll do it. Like,
I'll do it. I'll sneak in.
And I fell in love with him and he was evil. Like I would just show up at his house and he's like, why are you here? And then he would like say, maybe that's not evil. Maybe that's just like, go home.
I would show up to guys' houses too unannounced and it was not fun.
Oh my God, I thought he was in love with me.
Yeah.
I was in love with this person. I was like, how could he? I'm like, this is a New York
is it
New York
because
City
you
love
guys
story.
met drinking?
Yeah, he's a bartender.
Yeah, of
and
course.
he like would like kiss me across the bar, and it would be like it was so
New York.
It was so New York.
It
Brooklyn
was so
is
what
so
you
New
wanted.
York.
It's what you wanted your life to be like.
It was like back in like 2016 when everyone was wearing like lingerie bodysuits and your nipples were out, and then like a denim skirt and like a big denim jacket. It was that vibe, and like it was just cool to be in New York. Then I started doing cocaine with my friends because we would go and party and dance, and they were like go-go dancing or dancing at speakeasies, and we'd go there, and cocaine was everywhere. And it never scared me. Did it ever scare you to try it?
No.
No. What is that?
I don't know. I think
Fear
it's
resistant.
I think it's just that after I found alcohol, nothing was scary to me maybe. And like if everyone was doing it, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Like it was something to keep me up, to make me keep drinking. Like why would I be afraid of this?
Yeah, I remember thinking, I'm not afraid of this.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going to do it because we're doing New York.
Well, it was probably such a big thing for you because everything scared you.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my God, this thing doesn't scare me, you know?
Yeah, and mind you, when I would do drugs or when I would drink, I would be way less scared, and I loved it. I loved feeling like out and like young and cool and hot and like...
Because you've never felt that before.
I never felt that before. I also like, it took me a really long time to have sex. I didn't have sex until I was 21.
Yeah.
And so like, I was very sheltered in that way. I was like, I don't know, sex just felt so shameful, like growing up in the church. And then I was like in New York, I'm like, this is where people fuck. And I'm like, I'm gonna fuck. Like, I'm a girl. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So I started having sex, and that was fun. I started doing cocaine. But it felt fine. And then looking back, I'm like, oh, what a problem. Because I would, every night, I would go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
And my friend was working. or my roommate was working, and I would get a bottle of wine or like a bottle of tequila and like a San Pellegrino. And then I would just, if it was tequila, I'd get tequila and drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
And dance in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was like journaling. It felt like, God, I felt like fucking Picasso. I'm brilliant and I'm drinking too much but I'm doing it right. This is how you do it.
Exactly.
And then I would get up in the morning.
This is for me. Like, I like doing this. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is fun. And then it sneaks up on you like everything else in your life snuck up on you. Mm-hmm. One day you wake up and you're like, fuck, I can't do life without this thing.
I was doing dumb shit. Like, I would put the cocaine on the top of the fridge, and every morning I'd wake up and I would put my nail in it, do a bump, and then I would go to the bodega and get a protein bar and a coffee, and I would run to the gym, and then I would run for 45 minutes at the gym, and then I would leave. Like, and then I'd get a smoothie, and that was everything.
Yeah.
But I was like,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I'm fine. I literally, this is not a problem for me. I am not addicted. Yes, I was. I'm fine. I was drinking every night, but it didn't feel like out of my way to do so. It was around.
Do you think if someone told you, like, you have to stop at that,
no,
when it was only, like, that far gone, do you think you would have? I don't think so either. You were living your life in Brooklyn, and you felt so cool, and, like, you finally fit in somewhere, and it was a nice way to drink.
But I also knew, like, I wasn't super happy. I was not dancing in the companies I wanted to be in. I wasn't like feeling that great. And I also knew that my visa was coming to an end. Like, I had a 2-year, well, actually I only had a year and a half, and I definitely overstayed, but Trump wasn't there yet. And I knew I had to come back. Like, you either, like, you know, your visa expires and you have to find a job within like 60 days that'll support your visa in the States, or you have to come home. And I was like, home? I haven't been home. So the
dance companies wouldn't like allow you to stay, like,
No, they don't have enough money to like fund your visa, basically.
Got it.
Like, unless you're like a boy from Germany, they like won't do that.
Yeah.
But I knew I was gonna have to make a decision and leave New York, and that
was stressing you out.
Well, it just felt like a gut punch, because I was like, fuck, if I leave New York, my life is over.
Yeah.
And it really did feel like that. It felt like I got to where I needed to be, and it wasn't working, and I was so anxious and depressed. And sometimes I was happy, and I was happy with my friends, and I was happy when we were out, but then like the dancing was not like fulfilling. It didn't feel, I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah.
I hate talking about dance. Yeah. But I knew I was going to have to make a decision and move back to Toronto. And I was kind of optimistic, and I was like, maybe I'll dance here.
But why were you thinking of moving to Toronto? Because you were from Ottawa.
Well, because what was I going to do in Ottawa? There's like no dance there. I didn't want to be there. Like,
but you hadn't been here before in Toronto.
But my sister was here.
Right. Okay.
And she was a dancer. So I was like, yeah, I'll come and do that. And I got here, and it was so immediately like, I don't belong here. And that's fine. I mean, there's dance schools here, and they've all known each other for like their whole college career. And then they've gone on, and like they keep it pretty in-house here. And it really felt like, well, there was a few people that I really felt like not welcome by. And honestly, like, I did a few little dance things, and it depressed the fuck out of me. Like, nothing was fulfilling. Nothing felt good. Everything felt like, I don't know, just dumb. Like, I didn't like any of the styles. I just wasn't happy, and I didn't want to be there. And I was like, okay, well, I got to get a job. So I started working at a retail store, and I like really tried to convince myself to like it. And people were asking me like, what do you do? And I was still saying that I was a dancer. Like, I'm still like, oh yeah, I do this on the side. Like, I'm a dancer.
At that point, were you going to any studios in Toronto, or you stopped?
No.
Yeah.
Like, once I started
continued lying.
Yeah. And it was a lie, but it was also like, I wasn't sure if I was done yet.
Yeah.
You know, it hadn't been that long. And then I remember a year hit, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm not dancing anymore. Now, I said that really like lightly, but that ruined me. Leaving dance and making a decision. Well, you had to leave the States.
I had to leave the States. So like, that's like a decision that had to be done. That wasn't your decision.
Well, it also felt like a failure, because I was 22, and I was like, or 22 or 23, and I was like, I'm leaving now. Like, I'm not even, I didn't do everything I set out to do. I was supposed to be the best, and now I'm failing.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving. And I didn't know what to do with that feeling. And when I got to Toronto, I started working at this retail store, and I started drinking. And I was already drinking in New York, but this was like, now I'm drinking alone, and I'm not dancing. Like, I'm not even like drinking wine and dancing in my living room. I'm just sitting on the couch and like either crying, honestly, or watching TV.
Yeah, you're like severely depressed now.
Well, now I'm numbing everything. Now alcohol is like serving me in a new way. It's not fun. It's not, I'm not going out. I'm drinking to like
to numb yourself,
to
to
numb
not
myself
think
at the end of the
about
day.
how you were a failure and how you disappointed yourself.
Because I couldn't. Every single day I woke up and I knew I wasn't dancing, and then I would get home and I was tired, but I didn't do anything. Like I didn't dance, and I just every single fucking day I had to like lie in my bed and be like, you're done. You're not dancing. This is it. And I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I was terrified, and I felt like a loser, and I felt like such a disappointment. And I was like, everyone in my life has like been supporting this thing, and like this is the thing that I am. And so now not only like am I nothing to myself, I'm nothing to no one.
But were people like telling you that?
No, but it felt like that because it was just like, oh, what are you doing now? Oh, you're working there. Okay. Like, are you dancing? Are you dancing still? Why aren't you dancing? And every single fucking person I would meet, people still ask me if I'm dancing. And I'm like, I can't like talk about it. It's the hardest breakup I've ever gone through. And I like really never wanted to let it go. And it got to a point where it just wasn't fitting in I couldn't make it work. And like, I was working at this retail job, and it was at the mall. So at the end of our shifts at 10 p.m., we would go to Joey's and drink. And that was fun. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll make friends then. And maybe that'll be my thing. I'll work here and I'll have friends. And I'll have friends for like the first time kind of. And I'll have friends, and we'll go out and we'll have wine, and that'll be nice. Yeah. And so that happened all the time. And like we would go out. I was so thrilled if someone wanted to go out for drinks after. Yeah. Because I was just like
because then you didn't have to drink alone.
And I didn't have to go home.
Because like, did you feel bad when you were drinking alone?
Well,
like were you like, this is probably something I shouldn't be doing?
I wasn't ashamed of it yet.
Right. Okay.
I was still holding down a job. I was still like cute and skinny. But I couldn't handle not being drunk. I couldn't handle getting home at the end of the day and not drinking. And so like going out with friends was like even more of a distraction.
Right.
And
I get that.
Yeah. And they would drink a lot because I would drink a lot. Yeah. And that's when I really started.
And then you're like, oh, at least everyone's drinking and it's not just me.
Yeah. Oh my God. We would get so drunk one time. Did I tell you this story that I walked home from Joey's once, and we did it all the time, but I was so drunk that I walked the wrong way on Bay Street.
Oh my God.
For like 20 minutes, and I had to pee so bad.
Yeah.
And I was wearing those like Aritzia cargo black jeans. I was walking home, and I realized I went the wrong way. I was so lost, so drunk. And finally I figured out how to get home, but I was like, I have to pee. And I was like, do I squat? I just peed myself.
In the elevator?
Nope, just on the street.
Just on the street.
And then I walked home so wet, and then I got upstairs, and I was like, I smell like piss. Like, this is horrible.
That's so funny because, like, I would have those moments of, like, walking and knowing I'm going to pee, but I just, like, popped a squat. And, people would, like, I'd make eye contact with the people walking right in front of me, and I'd be, like, just pissing.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't want to do that. I was, like, so afraid of everything, and I'm just
Two types of people who just pop a squat, people who
piss themselves. Truly. Like, masking so hard. I'm like, you would never know. I'm like, I'm just peeing.
You were working that job
I was working that job. I started doing spin class. I was addicted to spin. I was going 3 times a week. Yeah. I met a boyfriend at this job of mine, and we talked about it a little bit, but it was good. I really loved him, and we started out drinking a lot when we first started dating, and then it was a bit of a bamboozle when he didn't want to keep drinking like that. But after 3 months, he moved in with me, and
which is super fast. I don't advise.
Don't do that.
No.
But it was also like we were young, and it felt very much like we're in the city and things are expensive. So why pay your rent if you're going to be at my house?
I know, but that's what everyone's excuse is. Literally, don't move in with your boyfriend after 3 months.
No. Yeah. Holy shit. Also because like honestly, never. Like,
literally just never.
You know my whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
like separate condos, separate
Yeah.
bathrooms, separate beds, separate condos. You know, so that I can be swampy in my bed by myself.
Yeah. I still haven't been into her bedroom, guys.
Soon. At this point in my life back in Toronto, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm like, I don't know who I am. I'm not dancing. I don't really like this retail job. I do love my boyfriend. He's also kind of like moving quickly in the world.
Yeah.
And I am feeling like I'm falling behind.
Yeah.
I get a new job that's like more prestigious, I guess.
Okay.
And it's really hard and it's really stressful, but I do feel a little better.
Yeah.
It's in fashion. And I'm trying to make myself love fashion. I'm trying so hard to convince myself that I'm a fashion girl. And
Like,
I
this
love
this has to be my passion now. Like, this is all I have. Has to be it for me.
Yeah, because I was like, I have to find something. And I did not like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like fashion. I love clothes. I love shopping. But I didn't like, how fucking vapid it is to buy $10,000 sweatsuits for people during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But,
So we're now in COVID.
well, so
Yeah.
during this whole time, I switched jobs. I have a boyfriend. He's living with me. That job is really stressful. And my drinking, my tolerance is just building at this point. So I'm drinking every night. And I remember sitting on my couch once and I was like,
And you're hiding it from your boyfriend because your boyfriend doesn't like it.
I'm hiding it from my boyfriend. However, at this point, there was a switch. I think it was COVID, honestly, because I was drinking a lot before and he would get like annoyed about it.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit and now he's seeing how much I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking more because it's COVID.
Yeah.
And at that point, I mean, even before that, I remember being in Toronto and being like, oh, I've been drunk every single night for a year.
Yeah.
Every single night. And I remember like thinking that because maybe it was my birthday or something. And I was like, oh, I was drunk on my birthday. And then I never stopped.
Right.
And I was like, ooh.
Did you know
That's
it was
not
a
good.
problem then?
I knew that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I wanted to drink every night.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you knew you didn't want to change it. You just like took that in as information and were like, oh, guess that's what I am now.
I was really hoping that it was a phase.
Got it.
I was really hoping that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And maybe I would, like things would happen with my eating where I would be like really intense with eating and then I would stop. Or I would get really, really fat and then I would stop. And like, I was hoping that drinking would be like that too. Like I would just drink really hard and then maybe I'd get a new job or I'd get a boyfriend and I don't have to drink that much. You know? That was not the case. I am working this job. I am now starting to request to work on Sundays because no one's there and I like my peace. And I also am like, I could drink. So no one was ever there on a Sunday. So I would just go downstairs. It was like in a complex and I would go to the LCBO and get a bottle of wine or like cans and pour them into my Stanley and I'd get all my work done. Honestly, Sundays were amazing. I loved Sundays because I wouldn't be too drunk, but I would drink a little bit throughout the day and get everything done, go home. I would stop at the LCBO on the way home and get 3 canned wines.
This is where like you had your drinking patterns. Like your patterns were built in. You knew you had to hide it from some people. Like this is where like it was really getting
I feel like I made a mistake. I feel like I fucked this part up. God, this is so confusing.
It's honestly like so far away from us now too that it's like it's hard to remember those days because it's so not us anymore. It's hard to backtrack.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out when the drinking got so bad because it was bad in New York. I was drinking way too much, but it was serving me still. I got to Toronto and now I'm drinking because I'm sad and I'm drinking every night. But I have a boyfriend and I have a job, so...
But you're lying to your boyfriend and you're drinking on the job.
Yeah, but it looks okay. Everything still looks okay. I look cute. I'm like doing things. I have friends.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
you haven't lost everything yet.
No, but I'm like, something is happening.
Well, it's sneaking up on you.
Sneaking up on
like
me.
everything else did.
Yeah, and then
you're not happy. Like you drinking every night isn't making you happy, and
no,
that's not how regular people drink either.
Right. Like I was coming home to like numb my body. Yeah. Like I really loved it.
You went into the intention of drinking every night to numb and to make yourself try to feel better. Yeah. And that's not the intention that regular people go into drinking feel.
Yeah. That's very true. I never drank because I was like
Celebrating?
Yeah. I was always just like, oh, are you celebrating? Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be over here.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
My drinking got my drinking patterns were really intense. So during COVID, when we went back to work, during COVID, it was crazy. And I remember I went out onto the balcony and I brought a bottle of wine, and my ex, we were together at the time, he texted me and he said, I hope you enjoy that whole bottle. He was so mad at me. And I didn't know that he hated it so much yet, because he didn't really talk about stuff. Yeah. I didn't know how much he hated it until then, and I cried, and I was mad at him.
But you knew that you weren't going to put it down.
Nope.
No.
And also now you just pissed me off and made me feel bad.
Yeah.
And made me feel like I'm not enough and I'm stupid and I'm an alcoholic. And so, I'm going to drink it.
Yeah.
Like, that isn't going to work, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you getting upset at me. Like, this is my fucking house.
Yeah.
Like, I drank a lot during COVID. It was, you know, I would try and like manipulate him to leave the house and like go play basketball so that I could order wine to the house. Or like run quickly to the LCBO and get whatever. Mind you, at that time, the lines at the LCBO were around the corner because everyone needed alcohol in the middle of the day. So that was a fucking sneaky little game. I was like throwing alcohol bottles under my bed. I'm like trying to hide this living with someone. And mind you, we're not talking. He's like coming back from playing basketball. He's not talking to me.
And mind you, like you couldn't be hiding it like that great. Like I'm sure he knew.
He knew.
And he
everywhere.
just didn't know like what to say to you.
I was drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Like I would come home from work and he would be like, why are you drunk?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah,
or I
I'm
would
not.
sneak the canned wines and put another one in my bag and then just take the dog right away and go to the park and drink in the park.
Yeah.
And once we went back to work, that I was so addicted to alcohol at that point. And in the whole day, right? Because I was drinking probably from like 2 on.
Yeah.
And when we went back to work, I was like, well, I have to drink. So I would just make it through the day. I would go downstairs to the LCBO, get my canned wines, walk home. And then eventually I started to go to the LCBO before work, get a bottle of wine, pour it into my Stanley, and then just sip on it all day long. Yeah. Or until lunch, and I would get another one. That's so stupid, but it was never a problem at work. I always got my work done. There really was never an issue. Yeah. Thank God. I mean, if I had gone a little longer, I would have.
Oh, 100%.
My ex was moving to New York, and I was like, great, I'll quit my job and come with you. Yeah. So I did that. Yeah. And at this point, he hates me. Yeah. And I know that the relationship is ending, and I'm doing everything in my power.
Why do you think he like was like, okay, fine, you can come with me to New York?
I think he was probably nervous to go to New York. Okay. And it was nice that I had lived there, and like it was gonna be helpful for me to help him set up a apartment. Like I think it's like a little bit of a trauma bond when you're like trying to move and stuff. So I think I was helpful. At that time, I was also pretending to get my real estate license and fully lying about that. I was trying, but I couldn't do it. Yeah. And everything just kind of felt like it was going so fast. I went to New York with my ex. We fought all the time because I was drinking all the time. We were in hotels, and I was just like pretending to do real estate in the lobby, getting fucked up.
Were you like on a visa for New York?
No, I was just visiting. Like I was literally just going to help him set up an apartment, and then he was like,
and then you guys were gonna do like long distance.
Yeah. And then he broke up with me on my birthday, and I knew it was coming, and that was everything I already knew about myself. I knew that I was never gonna be enough. And it didn't matter what I did. There's always going to come a time where someone's going to figure it out that I'm a monster, or I'm not good enough. I'm shit. I'm a loser. I'm this. I'm an alcoholic. I'm stupid. I'm whatever. You're going to figure it out. And I've been waiting for you to figure it out.
But also, like, you started drinking so much because you were depressed. Alcohol is a depressant. Like, you're now a shell of a person. Yeah. And like you don't think you deserve anything.
No, and I'm not dancing, I'm not working, I'm lying. I know that my relationship I'm losing it. Yeah. I also was really ready to just like be his girlfriend and give up my whole life.
Yeah, but like you had to have known that like the relationship wasn't good and he was going to do that. Like you said, you knew he was going to break up with you.
Yeah. Well, I did. And then I would just drink more and like I hide it during the day.
Because like you knew you couldn't quit to save that relationship. It didn't matter.
He asked me multiple times. He like cried to me to stop drinking, and I just would say, "Okay, I'm so sorry," and I would cry. But it's too far past that. My body needed it, and I didn't. I chose alcohol over him every single time. Yeah. But doesn't really feel like a choice when you're in it. It feels like, have you ever like, you know, when you wake up or you're outside and it's hot and you're so thirsty and you're like, if I don't drink something now, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
But you're not thirsty, but it's that feeling of like,
Well,
I need.
You don't have a choice when you're feeling like that.
No.
There's no choice. You don't have the ability to make that decision.
I came back home.
Yeah.
I was like, after that breakup, I actually went to my mom's house and like immediately drank a ton of vodka and threw up in her bathroom on the carpet, which is my whole thing, which is what I do. I throw up on the floor. And now I'm alone. Now I'm alone in Toronto. I have no boyfriend. I'm living in the house that he was living in, and I have all of this alcohol, and I don't have a job, and I don't have dance, and I don't have friends.
And was this 2021, you think?
Probably 2022.
2022?
Because we probably had like a good 2 years of COVID before we could leave.
Yeah.
And then, this is when things started to get a little reckless for me because I was so depressed, so drunk, didn't think I deserved anything, and now I want a boyfriend. So I need to go on dates. And so I download Hinge for the first time. And my friends, I have like 2 friends from Holtz, and they're hyping me up, go on dates. I'm going on dates wasted.
Yeah.
Like I'm nervous, so I'm drinking, but I'm getting there drunk, and then I'm like really just waiting to know that they're going to want to have sex with me because I'm like, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that all kicked off. Like I was going on so many dates and I don't know why I was doing it.
Because you just wanted to feel accepted and loved.
Yeah. I was like so.
Because you hated yourself.
Yeah.
You needed someone to like you.
I hated myself, and I also was like, there's no going back from this. This is who I am now, and I'm going to have to find someone in this. And I didn't even know if it was that rational. I was just like, I'm so sad and I need
it's
someone
interesting
to
how
love
you
me.
never like picked like a really like an alcoholic so that
Never. Well, yeah,
you know?
I don't know how you attract them because I
attract the alcoholics.
Yeah, you really do.
I
And
do.
I don't know what it was. I just was finding, and maybe some of them were, but
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them really were.
Yeah.
But I was just going on so many first dates, but I was drinking before them. And then that tolerance, I would get like 2 glasses of wine before I'd go out. Then that turned to 3. Then that was a whole bottle. Now I'm already drunk and I'm getting in the shower with another bottle of wine, and I'm going to shower really quick and then go over and have sex with this person. Misery.
Yeah.
And I was feeling shit about myself. You know, sometimes I would really like these guys and then they would like text me and be like, I'm not looking for anything, you drunk bitch.
Mm-hmm. Did they say that to you?
No.
Okay.
But I really was like, my life, I'm just here to be necessary now. I don't have a purpose, so I guess I'll just be used by someone.
Yeah. You didn't think that you deserved anything.
No, and I really didn't think I was ever going to. Like, I think I said this last week, I really, really believed that my dance was it for me. That's what I was put on this earth to do.
Yeah.
So lame, but like that's what it feels like still, kind of, that like I had one thing, you don't get another one, you don't get another talent, you don't get another passion. And so I was just like, not only do I not have dance, I don't have anything ever for the rest of my life.
But do you truly believe that still?
I don't know.
I don't think you do, because like this is now your passion.
Well, this will get
and
into
being
it.
sober is your passion. It's like the same thing as people not believing in multiple loves. Like I believe in multiple loves.
Yeah, I do too. I just think when it's me, it's really hard for me to be like objective about what's available and like what's true. Because even like this stuff that you're going through with whatever, the backlash and stuff, like when I was talking to you yesterday, I'm like, why can I say that to you? But when it's happening to me, I'm like, I'm the worst. I'm the devil. I'm a bad person. Like it's hard to be like objective about my own shit. And I really did think that. And also I was gaining so much weight. I was drinking so much. I quit my job. I was such a loser. I hated everything. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to be like this when I'm 40. How am I going to do this? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, then did you have like suicidal thoughts?
Oh my God. I just wanted to die all the time, Zoe.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I would get scared because I would have like weird body responses. And
because then like you knew you didn't want to die.
I didn't want to die.
No.
Oh my God. I definitely didn't want to die. I was but I didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know
you were scared that what was going to happen.
Yeah, and I also was just like, I don't want to live like this. I don't know how. There's no other world. They've already fucked up so bad. How can I come back from this? Like,
did you try going to therapy?
I had been in therapy before, and then I ghosted her because I was just like, I'm
too drunk.
I'm too miserable, honestly.
Yeah.
That went on for a while. That went on for 2 years, I would say, from like 20 Well, like after the
probably like 2021 to like 2023.
Yeah, like the relationship ended in 2021. So till 2023, I'm drinking every day, all day.
Misery.
The only thing I'm doing that's actually good is I'm taking Nike out 3 times a day. Like I never neglected him, thank God. But like I'm absolutely miserable. I'm not seeing straight. I'm now like getting to the point where I'm like, I am getting scared.
Yeah.
I don't feel good. I don't look good. The way that I looks sick.
People were starting to be concerned for you.
Yeah, and I just started not hanging out with anybody. Like my parents were really concerned.
Started isolating yourself.
Yeah. Well, because I was embarrassed. I was like I had to go to my friend's wedding, and I was like, how am I going to, first of all, I couldn't fit into anything. Yeah. I was like, how am I going to fucking go to this? I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and I drank an entire bottle of wine the night before, fully lied to my sister about that because you're not supposed to drink before anesthesia, but I was like, I can. Yeah. I'm an addict. Yeah. I'm a pharmacist. And that was crazy. Kept drinking after my wisdom teeth. They were so infected for a year. My wisdom teeth for a year were infected because I would not stop drinking.
That's funny because all my 4 wisdom teeth were infected before they were taken out.
Mine too.
And after.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine weren't infected after.
Oh,
I got lucky because, I kept drinking and smoking. Like, smoking cigarettes. Yeah.
I had 4 dry sockets, and I went to my mom's, and I was crying. I was miserable. Yeah. It was horrible.
How did mine not get infected?
You're built different, though.
I have a perfect body.
You really do.
The body of a temple.
The body of a temple. The body of a temple.
I'm tired. Is that right?
No.
I don't even know if I said no.
So I'm in misery. I'm lying in my bed pretty much all day except to take Nike out. I'm just watching TV in and out of consciousness, like
yeah, because now you don't have a job.
I don't have a job.
No.
And I'm pretending to do real estate.
Yeah.
I don't have friends.
You've been pretending to do your real estate license for 3 years.
Yes. And that's what my dad said. He's like, how long is this supposed to be? He would always ask me. He's like, what month? Like, where's your... And I'm like, October. And then I'm like, oh, but then I failed this one, so I have to... And he'd be like, what the fuck? Mind you, I have 0 interest in real estate.
No.
0. And I don't know anything about money. Or I don't want... Whatever. The thing that I am doing all day long is listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And the one person I listen to more than anybody is Dax Shepard. And
shout out Dax.
Shout out Dax Shepard because...
Cry, baby.
Whoa.
You can hold my feet.
Let me just crack these.
You haven't done that in so long.
I know. I was listening to Dax Shepard, and he's an addict. If you don't listen to Dax Shepard, you should. It's like beautiful. And Monica and Dax saved my life. They did 100% because Dax, when he had his like day 7, when they like did that podcast, I listened to it 14 times when he relapsed. Wow. And he talked about it, and it was so emotional and real. Yeah. And I could see myself in that. I was like, I always loved true crime. I always loved like the deep and dirty parts of the world. I loved hearing about addicts.
Yeah, about like the real stuff.
Yeah.
Don't
sugarcoat
anything or like browse through anything.
No, I need to know. And like, I'm so deep and dark, and I just felt so alone. And listening to Dax always talk about his addiction, but then actually relapse. Yeah. I listened to that podcast 14 times. I was listening to it when I called rehab. Yeah. But I was building myself up to do it. I knew I had to go. I was having such severe heart palpitations. I was overfilling Nike's bowl at night because I thought that I was going to die. Yeah. And then if I died, my sister would come and like see my dead body, and that would be so hard. So I just wanted to make sure that Nike was still alive. And so he had like 3 days worth of food before someone checked on me. Because I couldn't have her see like 2 dead bodies. That would be crazy.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So I was listening to this podcast. I'm having heart palpitations. I can't put my hair in a ponytail without sitting down. I'm not good. I'm building myself up to go. I'm like texting people randomly. Like my friend Paige, I texted her and I was like, I think I have to go to rehab. Yeah. But I was drunk when I did that. I'm doing weird shit. Like I'm putting it out in the universe where I'm like, I'm kind of setting everybody up or setting myself up where like something's got to change. Yeah. And I remember being so scared, and I was looking up luxury rehabs because I'm like, I don't want to go to CAMH. I don't want to. I want to go somewhere where I have my own room and a nice shower. And so I'm looking up luxury rehabs on Google, and I find one in Muskoka, and you can have your cell phone. And I'm like, okay,
That was a priority for you to go to rehab, that you can have your cell phone?
No, it actually wasn't, but I saw it on the thing, and I was like, oh, that's great. Because also at that time I was like dating someone that I agreed to start dating when I was drinking. That was weird. But I was terrified to go, obviously. But I knew I had to. I knew I was going to die. Yeah. And I didn't want to stop drinking. Yeah. But I was like, you know what? Let me give this one shot. Yeah. And if it doesn't, we've said this too, if it doesn't work, I'll kill myself. Yeah. Or I'll just drink until that's the end. Yeah. And I called the rehab. I talked to the nurse and, set it up. I like sent a deposit, and then I called my parents, and my dad picked up, and I was like, is mom there? Can you sit together? Which is a terrifying thing to do. Yeah. And I was so scared to tell them, Zoe. I told my sister first. I called her crying. Yeah. And I was like, I know you don't like it when I cry. And she was like, I don't mind when you cry. I don't like it when you talk about sucking dick. I was like, oh, okay. And I was going to tell my parents. I called them to tell them. And I was so delusional that I was like, everyone is going to hate me. Everyone is going to be mad at me.
That's interesting that you thought that. Wouldn't you have thought like, oh, this is like a good thing that I'm doing. If I'm going to get sober, this is a good thing.
I think I just thought, like, I just was so ashamed
of it.
And rehab was so shameful. I didn't know anyone that had ever been to rehab before. I didn't know any drug addicts, not really, other than like what we see on the street, but I didn't know anyone who did. And also, we grew up in the 90s where it was like Lindsay Lohan and all of them going to rehab, and they're like drunk sluts, and like it's the worst thing you could be as a woman. And I just felt, I was worried that my parents were going to be ashamed of me, even though I looked so crazy and I was drinking so much. And
you thought you were hiding it, but you weren't.
And I knew that I had to go, and I knew that if my parents were mad at me, it would be okay, because if I told Dax and Monica that I was going to go to rehab, they would be proud of me. And I just like kept telling myself that. And then I was like, whoever's mad at me, like, it doesn't matter. Like, because I love these people so much, and I believe that they're right. And like, I have to do it. Yeah. And my parents were like so happy. Yeah. They were like, yeah, go. But I just, it was so nice to be able to like have Dax and Monica in my ears, because the way that like she responded to Dax when he was talking, and it was like, he was baby. Yeah. And she was like, she went through it all too with him. And I just felt like the love that she had for him when he was going through it was like, okay, that's the point. Like, you love him, you're gonna love him through it, and like, he's a good person, and like, there's a world in which this can work. And so
beautiful.
Well, and so I told my parents, and then they sent me a check. And then I went to rehab. And I went to rehab, and the day I went like a day early, something like happened, and I was like packing everything. I packed 1,000 things to go to rehab. Very different than you. I had a huge suitcase. I had all of my giant clothes. And
you were the size of a house.
I was the size of a house. I was as big as a house. And I packed up all of my little things, and I was going to Uber myself to rehab because I didn't have any friends. And if I did have friends, I didn't have a car. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to Uber myself. And the nurse was like, no, you can't take yourself to rehab, dumbass. And I was like, I've never been. I was my first time. I was somehow going to get from Toronto, take the train somehow to Wasaga.
Okay. Wasaga.
Yeah. And then take a taxi
from there.
I was gonna figure that out. I was like, is there any taxis around? And then she was like, I'll come pick you up. So the nurse picked me up. Yeah.
Picked you up from Toronto.
Well, I Ubered to King's City, and she picked me up.
Nice.
I was
really nice of her.
Somehow not drunk. Everyone else that showed up at rehab, drunk. And I was like, fuck, why did I do that? I was like trying to be the best one at rehab. I didn't want to be in trouble. Yeah. So I went to rehab, and she was like, did you drink today? And I was like, nope. I'm the best one. I didn't even drink last night. Like,
finally, you're good at something.
When I got to rehab, I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this. I'm gonna be the best one. All of you counselors, I'm gonna be your favorite. Yeah. I'm gonna rule this fucking town. And I did. Yeah. I got to rehab. I was so scared. I went up to my room, and I stayed there for about 4 hours until we were all going to dinner to get schnitzel. And I was like, perfect. We have to go out to dinner.
They went out to dinner?
Yeah, they took us around. There was only like 8 of us, I think.
That's interesting.
I know, how risky. Yeah, but it was risky because the fucking head counselor is a full drug addict. So like, he don't care.
So is it your rehab canceled now?
No.
Oh.
But if you need to go to rehab and you're going in Ontario, DM us and I'll tell you where you shouldn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to rehab as big as a house, and I made a pact with myself day one that I was going to focus on sobriety, and I'm not going to focus on my body, because when I focus on my body, I want to die.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything if I focus on my body. So I'm going to focus on getting sober.
You did have like a moment of clarity, really. Like it was really like,
well,
you realized that you didn't want to fucking die, and you knew that you were, and you were like, okay, I'm going to do something to change.
Well, when I got to rehab,
and it's really sad because not a lot of people have that like clarity second. Because if you didn't call rehab that second, and if you didn't get into rehab that second, you would have kept drinking and you maybe would have died.
I called the rehab and I was there. I had to go to Florida to drop off Nike with my parents. And so I called rehab, and then within 2 weeks I was there.
Yeah.
So I could have been there within a week.
Yeah.
It's also privatized rehab.
Yeah.
So you pay for it.
Yeah.
CAMH, you have to wait forever, but private's different. I walked into rehab and I felt safe.
You felt like you could breathe.
Yeah. I could fucking exhale. I was like, okay, everyone has me. There's no alcohol here.
Yeah.
I can't do anything. She was like searching my bag for drugs. And I was like, do people bring drugs here? And she was like, yes, there's fentanyl here all the time. People bring drugs to rehab. They're drug addicts. And I'm like, that's crazy. But also at this time, I didn't consider myself a drug addict. I just like did coke all the time, but I only thought I was an alcoholic. And I also didn't think that alcohol and drugs were the same.
Yeah.
I'm like running around my life being like, I only drink wine.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, what's the difference between like getting fucked up on wine and then like doing opiates? Like nothing.
You can't control either of them.
Yeah.
You're addicted.
Yeah. Wine is just like socially acceptable, you know? I cried immediately at rehab. Our head clinician came downstairs and he said, why are you here? And I said,
in front of everybody? Okay.
No, it was just like the nurse. And he's just like that. He's a person that's like, I know. Also, can everyone chill out? Like, chill out. Like, stop calling on me in class. Fuck. But he was like, why are you here? And I said, I drink all day, every day. And he said, all day, every day? And I said, maybe not all day. I did drink all day. And I immediately am gaslighting myself to be like, my problem is not that big. Yeah. And then he's like, why are you drinking so much? And I was like, I miss dance and I don't dance. I just started bawling my eyes out. So I was there for 6 weeks.
Were you scared to get out?
I was terrified to get out.
Yeah.
But rehab is the best place in the whole world. Can I just say that? Rehab is so fun. I've met my very best friends there. Kayla, she'll come on. I literally, what a soul sister. Like so codependent. Like we were attached at the hip. Like that is my sneaky weasel till the day we die. I love these fucking people. I love to sit around and ask everyone what drugs they're doing and what their trauma is and just
like work on yourself for 6 weeks is beautiful. God. And like not have to do anything and like learn about addiction and what you have to do now and like why people do these things and is like really relaxing.
Yeah, and watching everyone else go through it too. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, hearing
people's stories.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. And when I got there was like, it was mostly girls and they were they were all like around my age. And I felt that made me feel so good because I thought I was going to be the oldest one there. Yeah, exactly. But I was only 28.
You realize that this isn't an individual thing that happens to you. This happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're not special.
No.
It's not just happening to you. It's happening to many people out there.
Yeah. And it's nice to know that.
Yeah, it's so nice to know that. It's nice to know that you can like have someone to talk to about it and can relate to someone about it.
Well, no fucking kidding. Because then you start talking to these people. You start talking to people in rehab and you're like, oh, you don't think you're enough either? Why? And like, you just go through the whole gamut and you're like, oh my God, you've been out here floundering this whole time. I've been out here. Thank God we found each other here, you know? I really did love rehab. I got a lot out of it. I think the main things I got out of rehab were don't pick up. That was one of this guy would come in from CA and he would come in and he was like, don't pick up. All you got to remember is don't pick up. And I'd say, okay. And it's true though. Because it's like you're walking by the wine rack. It's like, just don't go in.
Yeah.
And you can do that after 6 weeks of rehab. It's really hard to do in the meeting, like immediately, but like you can. And like, that was always in my head.
Yeah.
Another thing was like, you can't judge what you don't know. So like I went into rehab being like, everybody hates me.
Yeah.
And then it's like what you said, like, who told you that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm just like judging everything around me, assuming narratives about myself that other people have. And like nobody had those narratives. And so that was a really nice thing to learn. It's also like in rehab, you do a lot of like cute shit where like you go around the room and you like tell Heather what you like about her. And it's really nice.
You gain confidence.
You really do.
Rehab.
They make you do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of therapy.
Yeah. It's a lot of therapy.
It was like 6 hours of class a day and then individual therapy 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then AA, CA.
Yeah.
Hiking. Oh my God, just so many addicts in withdrawal just trying to like get up a fucking mountain.
So
like,
funny.
can we stop doing this, please?
Oh my God.
The biggest one for me, this is the hardest one, is everyone is doing their best at any given time with the tools they have.
Yeah.
That's really hard for me because that has a lot to do with forgiveness. And if we loop it back to my elementary school days, I've been carrying Mr. Teeny's rocks with me my whole fucking life. And I don't want to forgive him. I don't want to ever forgive him for what he did to me and the abuse that I went through and just the life he set me up for. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But what that is like drinking poison and hoping the other person gets sick.
Yeah.
It's not helpful. It's like you're ruining my life from afar and you don't even know.
And he doesn't even care.
He doesn't care.
What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
You know?
But I had to go and undo all that stuff. I had to figure out how that's like gotten me to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, like I am worth something.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know yet. Like I'm in rehab and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I get out. I'm like, this is great. I love rehab. These are my best friends. I never want to leave.
Yeah.
I don't have a job. I don't have a passion. I don't know anything. I don't like myself. This is crazy. So I'm still terrified to leave. It gets to my 6 weeks. I gotta go. And I'm crying. Oh, she's crying. She's terrified. I was certain I was gonna drink.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna drink tonight.
What did you have in like set up for you going out of rehab?
That's actually such a good question because they would ask us that. They're like, your exit plan. And I said I was going to go to AA and I didn't. I like found a home, like I found groups, like you look them up, but I didn't want to go. I was scared. Honestly, I was scared. I don't know what I'm really scared of. Just walking in, being new, having to, I don't know. It's hard.
It's like a whole new rehab, basically, the rooms.
It is.
It's like a whole new group of people from rehab.
I know, and I do know that if I went I would love it and I would be the star of it, but like I don't know, it never stuck with me. And I also think that I felt really, really safe inside. I was like, as long as I'm inside and I don't go outside, I can't pick anything up.
Did you have like a therapist lined up right when you were getting out?
No,
you didn't have anything.
When I got out of rehab, I emailed 4 clinics in this area and a few downtown that like weren't even like social workers, not even therapists, which social workers are also great, but and they all emailed me back and they were like, we're taking clients right now, but we don't have anyone suited for addiction. And I was like,
oh no.
I was like, I'm not an addict. I went to rehab, so I'm good actually on that front.
Oh.
It took me so long to find a therapist and then finally.
How long?
Like 7 months.
What?
And finally
you were out here 7 months just like
floundering.
White knuckling it?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Nadia in the park. Because I moved. I still lived on Church and Carlton and then I moved here 2 months after I got out of rehab.
Do you think your rehab boyfriend was keeping you sober then? Like not keeping you sober?
1,000%. Yeah. I had a rehab boyfriend. Of course I did. I love him so much. And I still do. I miss him. But we talked every single day. Yeah. And he was in rehab still. Yeah. Like he was out 2 weeks after me. So he had all day to just call me. We talked all day, every day. And then when he got out, we talked every single morning and every single night. And it helped me.
Yeah. I think that is like one of the things that you had to keep sober. Plus you didn't really like leave your house.
Didn't leave my house.
It seems like.
I also started doing a very intensive skincare routine. Yeah. Like I was doing the Sephora stuff before I found you. Yeah. But like I was doing a lot of like 2-hour skincare routines where it's like the shower, the washing my hair, just so I could
have something to do. But
my cravings, I would take Nike out at 4:30 and my cravings at 5, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't handle this. And so I would just start a skincare routine and then be in bed by 7.
Yeah.
And it really helped.
Yeah.
And then I was just in
and that's
bed.
exactly what you need at that time.
Yeah.
And I think probably when you got your therapist 7 months into being sober was when you really started to like do some work about yourself and like figure things out.
Well, finally, I was like really like on the verge of losing my mind at the park, and my friend Nadia was like, "Oh, my friend is a therapist. Let me see if she'll take you." And she took me, and now if I need her.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. I think
love her.
that must have been when you started to really like get down to business and like continue on to this like recovery journey that you set out to be.
A year after, like the first year after rehab, I'm good. Again, like what you said, I'm doing all the work. I'm reading my binder that I got, my $30,000 binder.
I never opened mine again after rehab.
I really liked it. And I was like going through my journals, and I'm doing affirmations, and I'm writing sticky notes on everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing well, and I'm happy. And then I think it starts to catch up with me a little bit. Because then I start to get very angry. A year after sobriety, like a year into sobriety, I start getting annoyed.
Well, I think that when you started talking to your therapist about Mr. Tiny, you went through some shit.
I went through
That's when you were
shit.
really angry at the men. You would come into the clinic being so frustrated, so angry.
And I was driving, and I was like, men shouldn't be on the road. Like, they can't. I had such severe moral anger towards men. And by the way, I still do, but I am trying to separate it. I'm learning. Yeah. It's hard for me right now. Yeah. I start opening up to my therapist, and now I'm realizing as a sober person, oh, I'm not a bad person. Not only am I not a bad person, I wasn't a bad kid.
No, you weren't.
And holy fuck, did that ruin my life for a few months. Finding out that I was not a demon as a child, and that all this shit was just like a result of a result of a result. And then like some of it was me, and then some of it was like other people. But all of this stuff stacked on top of each other, I still feel like
you didn't know how to deal with it because this is new information you're finding out, and you couldn't rely on booze. And you were very angry during that time until like I think you figured that out with your therapist, and then I think you've been good since then.
I had a really rough event where my friend Andrew got married, and I love him so much. He was also one of the reasons I didn't kill myself in high school. He was like my only friend, and he was getting married in Ottawa, and I was like, I gotta go.
Right, I remember this story.
And I was so like pumped. Yeah. And I know Ottawa. Yeah. I'm from there. And I got on the high. I thought it was in Wonder. I figured all the wedding venues are in this direction. Yeah. He was in that direction. I started going this way, and now I'm late. And I missed the wedding, and the disappointment. Yeah. I was like, why am I sober if I'm going to be so fucking stupid? I can't even show up for my friends. Yeah. Like, I can't show up for them when I'm drunk. I can't show up for them when I'm sober.
Yeah, why am I sober anyways?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sober. My body still looks like shit. Like, so much. Like, it was. And then for like 2 months after that, I was in like a pretty severe depression spiral where I was like, I yelled at a cop. Yeah. I was screaming at men.
Well, also, like, when you get sober, like, you expect things to happen right away. You expect to be happy right away. You expect to be skinny right away. You expect to be the best person ever right away. But those things happen gradually. And, like, sometimes you're not a good person.
I guess that is part of the journey, and that's a hard one because, it is supposed to be like my anger management is better. I went to rehab. I learned all about like your window of tolerance. Like when I got out of rehab, I'm like saying all of these like buzzwords about like, I know myself so well now. I went to rehab, and then it's like, and now all this stuff is going to catch up with you, and you're going to have to deal with it. And I'm happy to. Yeah. It is very hard. It's very hard to be sober. It's very hard to be sober and reflect. It's very hard to be sober and date. I would go on dates with guys, and they would text me and say, oh, sorry, not interested. And I would be like, well, right, because I'm a piece of shit. I'm disgusting, and I'm ugly, and I'm fat, and I'm a loser, and I'm an alcoholic, and I don't have a passion for anything. Now, mind you, I'm a year out of rehab, and I don't know what the fuck I want to do. I went back to school for addiction and mental health. That's great, but I don't know what I want to do, and I'm like, I have to go back to school. If that doesn't work out, now what? And then I was like, maybe I should talk about sobriety in a really real way. Yeah. And I never shut the fuck up about it. It's the most important thing to me, and I saw that Ariane was starting her own production company, and I was like,
perfect.
Maybe I'll talk to her about it. And it just was like such a good fit.
Yeah.
Tried to do it on my own for a little bit. Crazy, doesn't work, LOL. And I was like, what am I doing? I'd like to have sober conversations.
Yeah.
Like going to rehab and realizing like, oh my God, I love having these conversations about trauma and like boredom and addiction. It's the best fucking thing in the world.
Because you can work it out together. Like us as addicts, like we feel seen when we're talking to another addict because we can get each other. Like we know what, even though some of the stuff is different, the baseline is all the same. Yeah. We felt the same way.
Addiction feels like a solo sport.
Yeah.
It's not, because your whole fucking family and friends and people in your orbit are involved in it and they're worried, but it really is so personal, and it's
so isolating. And then to know that there's so many other people out there like you is so comforting.
Yeah.
And it's a community of people that like I never want to leave. And it just feels so good. And I'm so happy that we found each other too, because that's crazy. We didn't find each other in a meeting. You came into my work and instantly it was like, okay, we get each other because we're both sober. And that's the whole point.
Well, like I cared about you right away. Yeah. Like I didn't even need to know you. I'm just like, you've been through shit and like I got you, you know? Like
it really, as soon as the esthetician told me like she is, I can't say sleeping with a married man.
It's okay. Cut it out.
As soon as the esthetician told me that you were sober and that you had like these sexual relationships with these men, because I was also like doing my crazy sexual experiences then too.
It is really nice, and like my favorite people in the world now are sober people. It's like the real version of people, and I want that. When people go, I'm fine, I go, no, you're not.
Well, yeah. It doesn't even need to be like sober people, or like, it's just like as long as you talk about life in a real way, I'm gonna like you. As long as you're not bullshitting stuff, I'm gonna like you. If you talk to me like I'm a real person and not just like a fragment of your imagination, I'm gonna respect you and I'm gonna like you. Yeah. But there's so many people out in this world who just walk through life just like looking for the next thing, and those aren't my people.
No, I feel like I've been through way too much to even pretend to be any way surface. Yeah. And I can't. I really...
No, we can't pretend, because if we start pretending that we're okay, then we're going to relapse too. There's so many things that we have to just be honest about how we're feeling. That's why I like that we do the mental health check-ins, because like we need to be honest with how we're feeling. We can't just lie and say every week we're amazing and we're a 10 out of 10. No, some weeks are going to be a 2, some weeks going to be a 10. Yeah. It depends on what's going on in our life. Just because we're sober doesn't mean we're 100% happy all the time. There's things that are still going to come in and out of our lives that we're going to have to learn to deal with sober, and we do. Thank God. Yeah.
There are things that I would like to drink about. Today, I was so sad. I was like lying on my bed and I texted you and I was like, and I was like, I would rather be drinking. But honestly, now sitting here across from you having these conversations, I'm like, oh my God, I don't need to drink. I'm fine. Like it is fine.
It's just like a blip in the universe now that we have those thoughts. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you, babe.
Thank you. The things I'm working on now, I would say, are my anger management, my moral anger, and not throwing up when I have sex. Yeah. But on Monday, I'm seeing your godmother.
Oh my God, that came up so quick. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I wonder what she's going to...
My godmother is a sex therapist.
I told my sister yesterday, I was like, oh, I have sex therapy on Monday with Zoe's godmother. And she went, ugh. And I went, Karen, I said, she's not going to fuck me. She's going to tell me how to have sex. And it was very funny. But I'm like, can you just for 1 second be cool that I'm a sexual person? Yeah. But I'm really excited. And I'm excited to see I'm terrified. This podcast terrifies me.
I feel like I just like pretend that no one listens. And that's how I get through this life of us podcasting.
Yeah. I just know what happened to me was so hard for me. And I know that I'm not the only one. Yeah. And I don't ever think I'm going to be the only one, you know?
Well, yeah. Like you needed us when you were listening to podcasts. Like, thank God you had Dax and Monica. But what if you didn't have them?
it would have taken me a lot
Yeah.
longer to get sober. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For
I didn't
sure.
even know I was an addict.
No.
I didn't know.
You didn't know the words. You didn't know.
I didn't know the words. Even when I was like full blown addiction, I didn't really get that I was an addict. You know, I needed to be told. I needed someone to tell me that like what I was doing was, people do it.
Yeah.
It's not good. You can stop it, you know?
Yeah, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
I really do love that it does come back to the podcast of it all.
Comes back to the podcast of it all. Well, next
I'm
week.
so proud of you, babe.
Thanks.
And yeah, next week, I guess like we got to do me.
Next week we got to do you. All right, well, thanks
Proud
for
of you.
listening, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Girl Undrunk. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Girl Undrunk Podcast, and or send me an email at heather@girlundrunk.com.
And I'll tell you all about my sex therapy.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
I know, I'm really, 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 really excited.
We'll see how she
See
goes.
how she goes. I hope that was
I want to see your
followable.
jot notes so I can like see what you wrote down.
Jot notes?
Jot notes?
Jot notes?
Jot?
Why are you saying jot?
I swear it's jot.
I think it's just jot notes.
But it's a dot.
Yeah.
No, these things that I say, you're like, absolutely
I
not.
don't know where you get them from. I mean, maybe you're right, but I don't know.